Okay, everyone. Thanks for coming in today. My name is Mike Stallings. I am the Senior Vice President here at Capital Distribution. I want to thank everybody for coming in today. Just a couple quick things, as I mentioned before. If you have any questions, well, first, actually, I'm sorry, let me back up. In the chat box in the bottom right corner there, you can type in if you have any questions during the presentation. We'd like to hold all the questions till the end, if possible. If you have something pressing, you can also just put a little asterisk there, and I'll try to stop and get to it if it's a pressing question. But if you can hold them till the end, we will have a Q&A at that point. So today, we're going to be talking about a few different solutions. And again, if you have any questions, please put them into the chat box, and we'll be sure to address them at the end. With that being said, and let's get started. We've kept our presentation fairly short, so we have a lot of time for Q&A at the end. And as I said, my name is Michael Stallings. I work for a company called Capital Distribution based here in New Jersey. And for the past 20 years, my focus and now the company's focus has been trying to work with both plumbers, homeowners, and commercial properties throughout the United States, and more focusing on solutions to problems, not just products. We're looking to implement real life solutions for real life problems. And that's kind of what we're going to talk a little bit about today, is providing you solutions, no matter whether you own your home or run a business or are a plumber and are looking to bring these solutions to your clientele. For the past 20 years, my primary focus has been water savings, sewer savings, providing protection solutions from catastrophic water damage, and so on and so forth. And that's kind of our goal here at Capital, is to kind of focus on bringing solutions to you that actually solve the problems out there. So today we're going to talk about two different solutions. We have Arjun Singh from Jolie, who's going to talk about a revolutionary showerhead that's come to the market here. And then we're also going to talk about the Smart Valve solution, which is a product that saves you up to 30% on your water and sewer costs, with a typical return on investment of less than a year. So this is just we recently, a few months ago, updated our website. Just want, for those who haven't seen it yet, and by the way, I apologize, something is kind of going on with my camera here where it's getting a little blurry, but maybe that's a good thing, cover me up a little bit, but I apologize for that. And just wanted to show you all the homepage here, what it looks like. As you can see, we kind of break everything down by homeowners, by plumbers, and for commercial clientele. So just so many of you may not have seen that yet, but just want to put that out there and show you. And with that being said, we're going to start with Jolie first. I'm going to bring Arjun in here just a second. Bear with me a second, Arjun. I'm just trying to figure out why this is not letting me unlock your camera, because it should. Let me try to close mine, and I'll make you a presenter. 1 second. I apologize, everyone. I'm just having a little trouble here. Oh, here we go. I think we got him.
You guys have been doing my end. Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. I think, and we have there we go. Okay. So with that being said, just let me know when you want to change the slide, Arjun, and I'm going to start this off with you and let you go ahead and fire away.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike. Really appreciate the introduction. I'm super excited to be chatting with you guys today. This is a community of people that I think will really understand what we're doing, and a unique solution that we've seen so much success in the past year of being in business. We're a very new company, but I'm excited to share more. So I'm one of the co-founders of Jolie. Jolie is a beauty wellness company that is focused on an issue that the beauty industry at large has just completely neglected, and that is the quality of the water that we shower in and bathe in every single day. All the time, money, and effort that consumers primarily focused on their vanity, which at the end of the day is what we as humans sort of care about and drive our purchasing behavior. It actually starts with the water, and it tends to be the root cause, not of every issue, but of many issues. And the beauty industry has tended to focus a bit further downstream on band-aid like solutions, like a shampoo for dandruff or moisturizer for dry skin, when it's really the water that's causing the issue. And let me see if I can change the slide myself. Yep.
There you go.
So for the past year, Jolie, we've been focused on repositioning the way in which we think about a shower head. What you see on the screen is our product, which is a filtered shower head. We did not invent the shower filter. The shower filter exists, but the way in which the market has currently approached it has been very much from the perspective of a fixture and not focused on the impact and the effects that it has on one's skin and hair. And we are very purposely taking this approach as a beauty company, because that is where we'll really get consumers to care about this. So what we've done is we've built a brand that speaks to that. And we've also created a product that is far superior to the filters that currently exist on the market. I'm not sure if anyone on the call has used a shower filter before or have customers and clients that have used shower filters, but the market is primarily on Amazon. It's product that breaks down very quickly, cheaply made, and uses carbon, which is great for filtering drinking water, where the water is gravity fed and cold, but is a filter media that doesn't perform in the conditions of a shower, which is hot water and high heat, hot water and high pressure. What we've done with our filter, which sits in the neck of the shower head and needs to be replaced every 90 days, is we use a material called KDF 55, which has been around for decades and used primarily in industrial use cases. It's a bit more expensive than carbon, and also calcium sulfite, which are the two best filter media for removing both chlorine, which is in nearly all of the water systems across the country, as most of this call I'm sure knows, as well as heavy metals. Those two sets of contaminants tend to be the root cause of many of the issues, ranging from acne to eczema to just in the past couple months, hair loss has been mentioned as an issue that we've actually been addressing. And we had no clue that we would have any impact on hair loss. But women are saying that they're looking in the drain and 75% of hair, they're seeing some less. They used to see 75% more hair in the drain before using Jolie versus after putting Jolie in. So we're now running clinicals around hair loss so we can message to that. I'm just going to move to the next slide here. So while we are quite a new company and the product has only been in the market for 15 months, we've seen incredible growth and a real understanding of the issue at hand. We knew that there'd be two challenges before starting a business that is beauty focused on women, but with a product where there might be the perception that installation is difficult, while the reality is quite the opposite. And also education around the issue. Is water a bad, where it's not clean enough and it's causing issues to my hair and my skin? And is that something that's across the country? We were pleasantly surprised with how many customers knew of the water issue already. And it often resulted or came from a story around travel, where during COVID, someone might have moved or they're traveling across the country and nothing in the routine has changed except the water. And people have, I think the education has really been something that hasn't been an issue. And people are understanding that the water is to blame and there's something up. And Jolie has been able to solve that. So just in 15 months, sold the Jolie to every single state, which we achieved that milestone 6 months into the business. And we have over 60,000 customers, most of which are on our subscription, because the filter, like any filter, needs to be replaced every 90 days. 80% of people take subscription, and only 2% of people have canceled over the course of the lifetime of the business, which is numbers that you don't see in software. Netflix doesn't even have a subscription rate at that level. And this just goes to the focus here is we're not putting out a product that is just a cool new shower head and a flashy object. This is a product that's built on efficacy and is solving the fundamental part of the issue. And the feedback that we have from customers, I mean, honestly brings me to tears, because they're using words like this is life-changing, and they're seeing a step change difference in their hair and their skin. In terms of, and I imagine that the audience here has some familiarity with shower filters. The testing that we've done, so the NSF has a standard, NSF 175. That standard is 50% chlorine reduction over the course of the duration of the filter. Most filters on the market say they remove 99% of chlorine for 6 months. That is simply not true. It is misleading at best. We've tested all the shower filters that exist when we were going through the process of developing Jolie, and we recognize that 99% is actually only true for the first 1 or 2 showers, and it drops exponentially. And 6 months is exaggeration would be too light of a word. Those filters last a few weeks at best. It simply is just misleading. So what we did is we did quite a few third-party lab testing. We were able to get to 3 months as the furthest that we could take this from a filter lifespan, where we could stand behind the efficacy of the product. That is equivalent to 2 people showering every day for 90 days. Simplicity is a big focus of how we communicate to the customers and to the market. So we keep just one option of 3 months. We've had customers say, hey, I've got a family of 5 people and we're using the same shower. We need to be on a 1-month plan. So we've been able to adjust that on the back end. But for most of our customers, 3 months is the duration of the filter. And the results you see here are the third-party testing results. 84% chlorine removal is what we get at 3 months, which far exceeds the 50% standard by NSF. We've also been able to not only acquire new customers that, if you just take a step back and think about when someone is buying a shower head, it is often around bathroom remodeling. They might be moving into a new home, or their shower head that they currently have simply stops working. But most people are not removing their shower head for beauty reasons until we've come into market and have now created a community of people that are looking at the shower head as the most essential beauty wellness tool. That being said, we've also converted users of other shower filters where they're seeing a benefit above and beyond filters with reputable names such as Culligan or any of the product that you see on Amazon. So this is something that, not only do the testing results indicate that we've done better than what currently exists, but our customers are also mentioning that this is way better than what they were using before from an efficacy standpoint. And then, of course, we've brought beautiful design and a product that has a brand to it and isn't nameless. And we've created a lot of customer love that way. We also have customers that have well water systems, and that was a question initially that we would get often, asking if this works for well water. And the answer is yes. Well water can be extremely hard. We are not a water softener. That's a bit difficult to do at the point of use. But we have customers that have well water systems. They're using Jolie. They're seeing a benefit. And we also have customers who have whole house filtration systems, which we all know are quite expensive. And if you're living in a city in an apartment building, it's a bit difficult to implement that. But for our homeowners that have water systems, filtration systems, they're also noticing a benefit because that water still needs to travel through those pipes. And there's often heavy metals that are getting deposited in there. So that would be the best solution. Just to talk quickly about the framework that led to the business, which is the reason why I bring it up in this context, is it's a real reason for the success, not only of the company, but of this product, and something that can be offered to your clients and customers in a way in which it's sticky and it makes sense and is easy to implement. The reason for that, and these are points that I think we all know, this case to our vanity. Vanity is the driving force, vanity and vice, I would say, of purchasing behavior. We're not focused on, saving water is something that we love. And of course, this community and Smart Valve and Mike, there's a whole mission around water savings. But at the end of the day, people care about the way in which they look, unfortunately, more than any other issue. And we cater directly to that. So that's sort of point one in terms of the framework of the business. Point two is this is one size fits all. So it's easy to implement. And lastly, we shower every single day without consideration. This isn't a beauty product that is an LED face mask that is a trend that someone hears about in a beauty publication, and then the next month it's gone. This is something that we do till the day we die. And that's really special. These are just a selection of a few quotes and customer reviews where the level of impact that we're having, again, is just so fundamental because we're focused on the root cause, which is the water, which we call step zero. So ranging from acne and eczema to people now associating this relationship with their Jolie, and they're calling it not their Showerhead, but their Jolie, similar to how we call a tissue a Kleenex. They're associating us with the leader in the space of filtering water for your skin and your hair. And there's a emotion that we've created with the customer. And this is something that is not widely available. I mean, we sell on our direct site. We sell in premium hair salons because the hairstylist has a special relationship with the customer, and hairstylist says, do this, it'll be better for your hair. And the client listens. We're also in places like Goop and top tier beauty sites. And that's very much been our positioning. Our goal is not to go to Home Depot first. Sure, years down the road, we can see ourselves in Home Depot, but our focus here is to build this as a unique product that is not widely available and focused on the positioning as a beauty tool. And this is something quite unique that you could offer because a customer can't just go down the road to Home Depot to pick this up. This is one of our salon owners. Most of our salon owners have, or all of them have seen success selling the product just as someone exits the salon. It's offered as like a shampoo or a conditioner. And this is a product that's priced at $165. So people are paying that and it's flying off the shelves. It also helps if a woman is spending, $200, $300 and getting a hair treatment, whether that's coloring her hair, getting a perm, this increases the longevity of those treatments. This goes to the point I was making earlier about hair loss. We've started to do a clinical. We'll have results in about 3 months, and then we'll start to message a bit more clearly and specifically on that point. This shows where we're sold currently. Again, the focus is beauty. That being said, the plumbing community, the homeowner community, the property managers, there's a real opportunity given that it's a very natural product to discuss. And, given the relationship that I have with Mike and what we've been discussing, again, we're thrilled to offer this to you guys. Just to talk quickly about our marketing, we have relied on word of mouth to fuel the growth of the business. And that word of mouth is both in real life, people talking about Jolie at the dinner table, but the modern form of word of mouth, which is digital and social. And the way in which we've seen that play out is we, just over the past 15 months, have 5,000 unique pieces of content on Instagram that we've paid $0 for, that we have not created, but our customers are creating. And our customers, range from your neighbor next door to Olivia Palermo, who has 7.7 million followers on Instagram. So we've really leveraged our community and our customer base to be the sales force of the company and provide so much momentum that is unbiased because it's not coming from us. And I bring it up in this context because it just helps. If this is something that you're mentioning to a customer or client, they can easily look us up online and see our 60,000 plus following on Instagram, the people that are talking about us, and the momentum that we've been able to create. We've also leveraged that we're based in New York. We tend to show up on the street and leverage culture overall to target our customer. We take a tone that is a bit edgy, a little tongue-in-cheek. This was a Valentine's Day campaign that we ran. I thought the audience here might find it funny. We had a red shower head. It's shot in a bouquet of red roses, a gift guaranteed to make you wet. In parentheses was, it's a shower head, silly, get your head out of the gutter. People have really responded well to this tone of voice. And the heart of our marketing strategy is really 2 words: create conversation. And this is just one way to do that. Again, speaking to our core customer of a woman who cares about her hair and her skin. For Valentine's Day this year, we ran a campaign which takes the woman's perspective of, hey, I don't need chocolate. What I really need is my hair to stop breaking. I don't need roses. I need my wrinkles to go the F away. This is what I really care about. This performed very, very well. In terms of the packaging and what we've created from an experience standpoint, again, thinking about our core customer, we wanted everything in the box. So it's not just a shower head that's in the plastic that you have to use scissors to cut and you end up cutting yourself, and then you need to look through the junk drawer to find a wrench. Everything comes in the box, including plumber's tape. We realized that the standard plumber's tape size is enough to wrap around your shower arm, I think 125 times. No one needs that. So we created a specific size that is just enough and realistic. We call it the cutest tape in the world because we got the sample and it literally looked like the cutest tape in the world. That's why we called it. And we also include a wrench, which we've branded, and it has also been a moment of people taking photos and posting it online. And it's been a nice surprise and delight. In terms of waste, this box is what the shower head ships in. It is not put in another corrugated box. We wanted to reduce waste and minimize that. There's no packing peanuts in here. Everything is paper pulp inside the box. And we really thought that through when designing the product. When we think through the retail experience in store, it is an Apple-like packaging that feels slightly more premium, but that is focused on the in-store wholesale business. We've been recognized by top publications, again, with a skew towards beauty. And I will pause there for questions.
Thanks, Arjun. Let me just turn mine. We've got a lot of questions for you, but I'm going to ask everybody just to be patient. I'm going to go through my side of this in a second.
Awesome.
As soon as I figure out, there we go. So basically, I just wanted to kind of sum up what Arjun was saying and how it pertains to us and how we bring this to you guys. If you're a homeowner or you're a commercial property manager or owner on the call, basically from us, as Arjun said, we're going to provide you with the best option on the market, whether you're a homeowner or whether it's for your tenants. As you just heard Arjun say, this is something far and beyond what yourself or your tenant can get on the market. For those from the commercial property manager side and property owner side, obviously, if you have a project where we're looking at a bulk purchase, we'll work with you on that. And also, I think it's key, and Arjun mentioned this about the replacement filters, that we can set that up as an automatic purchase, or you can also buy in bulk ahead of time, depending on which, whether we're talking about a homeowner or a commercial property. For our plumbers on the call, again, we wanted to provide you with something that's going to be the best option on the market, that's not in Home Depot, can't be shopped around, so on and so forth. We have a solid price point set up for you too, as well, to make sure that you don't get priced out of the market. Same thing applies with the bulk pricing. Again, from a plumber standpoint, the replacement filter side of this, I think, is a huge thing for you, because you can set that up as a lot of your clients, I'm sure, will want you to come out and service every 3 months, every 6 months, probably more every 3 months. From what Arjun had said, it probably makes more sense to get the maximum efficiency of it. But it could be a service call for you to go back to the home and do this. You can even create this as a year-long thing where, hey, if you buy the shower head and we install it, we'll come back every 3 months and change the filter for you. There's a lot of ways you can look at this. And again, as I mentioned earlier, this gives you an option to have on the truck that you can present to your clients and show them something unique that really does solve the problem. And thank you, Arjun, by the way, for really educating everybody on that. Because I think it's important that we really take for granted. Everybody looks at the whole house for filtration systems and thinks, oh, I got everything covered. Well, this is focusing on what's really important, and to a lot of people, their appearance. So thank you again for that. And I'm just going to move, only from a time standpoint, I want to kind of move a little quickly here and get to to my part of the presentation, which is the smart valve solution. And the reason, why is this a solution? I always start off with this simple question: why is this a solution? What is this a solution to? And anytime you're looking at an issue, you want to address the problem first. What's the issue? And the issue in today's world is very simple. Water and sewer rates have gone up exponentially, especially over the last 10 to 15 years. And as you can see from this graph, it's a little bit dated. It goes back to 2020, but I can promise you that the curve is still going the same way. On the bottom there, you see the average cost, and honestly, this doesn't take into effect some of the inflation we've seen in the last couple of years, but just as a guideline, you can see the cost of water and sewer has gone up 3 times as much as all other items that are on the market. Some of the key facts about water and sewer: risen 80% since 2010, as opposed to about 20% for all other items. In today's commercial buildings, they make up 30% of the utility costs. And in the past, that was never the case. It was always electric. Now water and sewer is making up a bigger chunk. So it certainly is becoming an issue, especially in the commercial marketplace. Out of 50 major cities, on average, 70% raise their rates annually. And I can promise you, from what we've seen, we've been in business since 2015 and been supporting this and providing this solution since about 2017, 18. In the last 5 years or so, those that don't raise their rates one year will make it up in the next year. On average, it is about 5% every year, whether they formally raise the rates or not. So it's certainly becoming more and more of an issue. Whether you're a homeowner or a commercial property owner, you're seeing it. Homeowners don't see it as much in terms of dollars because, it's typically a lower cost. But from a commercial property standpoint, definitely, as you can see from our last bullet point here, if you're spending $10,000 a month today on water and sewer usage, in the next 10 years, if you only average a 5% increase, it's going to be closer to $16,000 or more for your cost of water and sewer. So, is there a solution to all of this? Yes, there is. The smart valve solution. So, what is the smart valve? It's a USA made product. It's available in sizes from 3/4 inch all the way up to 12 inch. For you plumbers, the 3/4 inch up to 2 inch is a double female threaded, like you see. If you look in the picture on the left there, on the top left, on the right there, I believe that's a 2 inch. You can see it's double female threaded. And then 3 inch and up, which is the valve next to it, is a flange. Can be installed horizontally or vertically, as you can see. Comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee and also a 10-year warranty from the manufacturer. It is a water-saving device, but more importantly, it's a money-saving device. And what it essentially does is it corrects a mistake that almost every water meter out there makes. It doesn't distinguish between water and air. It only counts volume. Now, to kind of sum this up a little bit as quick as I'm not trying to rush too much, but I want to leave a lot of time for questions and Q&A at the end. But what it essentially does is it's installed after the meter, and it's going to maintain the pressure at the meter. So typically, most systems, almost all systems, you have let's say, for example, you have 80 PSI coming in from the street. When the water hits the meter, or anytime there's a demand for water, you're going to get a pressure drop at the meter. And when you get a pressure drop, you can basically, the water comes rushing through. It's not at all calm, for lack of a better word. There's a pressure drop. It allows any air in the line to expand, and it also can overspin the meter because of a rush, especially in peak times. So what the smart valve does is it kind of acts like a toll booth. It keeps everything between it and the meter at a constant pressure. So if you had 80 psi coming in from the street, it's going to be right around 80 psi at the meter. And when you accomplish that, you get a nice smooth laminar flow through the meter. The meter turns normally, it spins normally, doesn't overspin. And any air in the line, it doesn't remove it, but it keeps it compressed. So they're very tiny particles. So when they pass through the meter, they don't register anymore. And that's really the key. What the smart valve is doing is correcting a mistake. And it's saving you, it's actually making sure that the meter is reading accurately and you're paying, or your client is paying, for what you should be, which is just your water usage. And because most places, your sewer rate is based on your water usage, it's also going to save you there, because now you're saving 20, 25%, whatever your total is. That's going to apply to your usage on your sewer side, and that's also going to give you a reduction in that bill as well. And this is just a couple more examples of a few of our partners here. I want to get to the bigger ones here. The other key part of this, which is what everybody wants to know, is, well, if I put this in, how much is it going to cost, and how long until I get my money back? From a residential side, it's a little slower. It's typically 1 to 2 years. But for commercial applications, the ROI is usually less than a year. And a lot of times that even includes what your cost is to get it installed. And that's pretty much, I always use this analogy. It's a little goofy, but I like to throw it out there is, if I ask you to hand me $100 today with the promise that over the next 10 years, I'm going to hand you back somewhere between $400 and $1,200, in most cases, if you have the $100, you're going to give it to me, because there's no other investment out there that's going to give you that return on investment. So that's essentially what the smart valve does. Not everybody's going to save 25 or 30%. Most of our customers save between 15 and 25%, but usually even at 15%, the return on investment is less than a year. And from a homeowner standpoint, it might be 2 years or a little more, because we're not talking about the same kind of dollars, but that's the key version of this. Since this newest, the third version came out about a year ago, even the second version, which came out a little before then, we've seen basically 70% of people are between 15 and 25% savings, and those that aren't, almost all of them are over 25% savings. So where would this be a good fit? Who can benefit from the smart valve? Residential homes, obviously, but on the smaller version, you're thinking like car washes, laundromats, school districts, bar, restaurants. We even sold one into a nail salon, because basically they're using a lot of water. They're changing a lot of water for the people's feet when they're getting pedicures and so on and so forth. On a larger scale, think like, bakeries. We've done a few, school districts, office buildings, and then even to your larger pharmaceutical companies, apartment complexes, obviously. There's so many different people. Anybody with a high water sewer bill, this will be a product that will benefit them. Some of these key points I've already touched on, but 70% of users save at least 20%, and over 98%, and this is over the lifetime of the smart valve, which has only gotten better over the years, save at least 10%. So on the very low end, you're looking at 10% savings. We have had a few. We had one that was about 7%, where it was basically a operation, an industrial property that ran the water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So sometimes you'll see, I can tell you that even if it were 7%, it's going to make sense. But that's definitely on the very, very low end. Most of our customers are between, and that's our goal, is to get you to at least 15% if you're not there already. Return on investment less than a year, USA made, 10-year manufacturer warranty, 90-day money back guarantee. Less than 0.1% of these have been returned. At last count, and this is not 100% accurate, but 14 out of 20,000 sold have been returned. That's pretty low. Those of you guys in New York City know that know how hard it is to get a product approved. It's both Massachusetts and New York City approved. Has the NSF ANSI certifications. The other key part of this, which it really separates it from anything else out there, is it's the only externally adjustable valve that's on the market. There is a copycat that uses version 1 of the smart valve, which came out about 10, 12 years ago. It does not have this feature and does not work as well as what we're offering, which is the 3rd generation of the smart valve. What do I mean by externally adjustable? Well, every building, every home is different, right? And when you adjust the valve, you're kind of giving a customized installation to your client or to your property. The external adjustability anybody can do. On the smaller sizes, it's a simple metal rod that you adjust. And what you're adjusting is how much back pressure you're putting on the valve. I already see we have a question about PSI, and I'm going to get to that in 1 second. The other important thing with this is there's no maintenance or additional work required once it's installed and set. This is very much a set it and forget it product. You can always change it because you can adjust it externally. You don't have to shut the building down to adjust it. But it's also removable and reusable. If you have one installed in your home and you're moving and you want to bring it with you, you can remove it and bring it with you to your new home. Since 2019, the lowest reported usage we've had is 14% savings. We've had a report of almost 60% savings, which is definitely the highest. It's not a normal savings. Most are, again, between 15 and 25%. Our average has been 23%. It can be set where there is no reduction in PSI or very minimal reduction in PSI. It's also a self-lubricating valve, meaning that anything that gets through the meter is going to get through the smart valve. There's not going to be, it's not going to clog. There's going to be nothing along those lines. So I think that's very important as well. Some of the places where smart valve solution has already been utilized, many more than this, obviously. We just wanted to put some of the bigger names up here just to give you an idea that it is catching steam. We also have a lot of case studies and testimonials. I'm just going to show you a quick few. I'm happy to send you more if you want, and we do have plenty on our website as well. But this was an example of 2 valves that were installed in Texas office buildings. On the left here, I believe it was a 6-inch valve, and they saw a 33% reduction in their bills. On the right, they also did the irrigation line to the property. Well, actually, I'm sorry, they did a 4-inch valve, and they also did the irrigation line. On the 4-inch valve, they saw savings close to 38%. And on the 2-inch, which was the irrigation line, they saw a 40% savings. So they're very happy, and their return on investment was very quick. I believe, 3 or 4 months, actually. Definitely less than a year. This was a testimonial from one of our clients in Michigan, a pretty large real estate company, Roku. They installed a 4-inch valve as a pilot program in one of their high rises, and they saw their bills go down from between $8,000 to $13,000 down to about $4,000 a month. So they had one of the largest reductions. And since then, they've put in about 50 more of these because they were so happy with the results, and they're still getting great results on the other ones as well. For the plumbers there, we do have a couple of clients we've partnered up with over the years. Well, we have many clients, but we have a few testimonials from the clients here. There are more on the website as well. And basically, there's just a few plumbers that have worked with us in the past and said a little bit about what we do and so on and so forth. We have different programs for plumbers, which I'll touch on a little later as well. One of the things we also do for any commercial property out there is a free analysis of your property. Basically, we just get some basic information. We recommend a certain size smart valve based on the information you provide us, but very basic stuff: size of the incoming line, what's your average water sewer cost per month, and just basics. What type of building is it? Is it an apartment complex? How many units? How many floors? Basic stuff. And we're able to show you multiple things here that are very important. Number one, as you can see from this example, if you're spending $100,000 a year today, by the time you hit year 10, you're going to be spending about $155,000 for that same usage. So what's important about this and why it's very telling is it's showing you a 10%, 20%, 30% savings, which we consider the good, the great, the extraordinary result. Yellow being the most common, 20%. As you see over time, you or your client is saving even more, because as the costs go up, your savings also increases. So at 20%, you're saving 20,000 the first year, but at year 10, you're actually saving 31,000. It's allowing you to stay ahead of the curve of the rising cost of water and sewer. And this is only based on a 5% increase per year. In many places, we've seen 8%, 12%, even 20% in water and sewer costs on a year-to-year basis. So in reality, this is very conservative in terms of what you can and will be saving. And as you can see here, you also can see the accumulated savings for this particular property was over $200,000 while the product was still in warranty. So for our commercial property managers and owners on the call today, and obviously we also for homeowners, we'll do a free evaluation for your location. We do offer to send a representative for on-site supervision of your installation should you choose to move forward. We could recommend one of our plumbing partners if they're in your area. Also work with your plumber of choice. That's something we offer here. Also for, very important for commercial properties, we hear a lot, we don't have it in the budget or we don't have the funds. We do partner on our website. You'll be able to, if you go under financing, you'll be able to see we've partnered with a finance company that can basically set up and structure your process to not only pay for the smart valve, but also pay for the installation, but also make it where as long as you're saving 10 or 20%, your payment per month will actually be lower than what you're saving. And that's so basically we're going to pay you to put it in. So it's a nice feature for those that who might not have the funds right now or might not have the budget, can actually implement this solution, stay ahead of the curve, and actually be making money on it because their payments are lower than what their actual savings is. And there also are leasing options as well we can go into where you can actually get the valve installed for free, and basically you kind of share savings with a third party that actually works with you on that. For our plumbers on the call, as I mentioned, we have 3 programs where we work with you to bring the solution and other solutions we offer to your clients. We have a starter, a premier, and a VIP. To give you basics on it, starter program is basically just prove you're a plumber, sign up with our one-page form, and you'll be able to join the starter program. Premier, there's a minimum purchase involved to get a little bit more of a discount and also more perks. And VIP, we have is an annual subscription that we offer, but gives you the most perks, the bigger discounts, so on and so forth. All these programs in one way or another include some of this or all of this, discounts, marketing material. We do webinars just for your clients as well. We can run spiff contests for you and your team. We offer training, other sales options where we can help you with the sale of this to your clients, and a whole bunch more. But I just want to give you the basics today. And I can see we already have some questions on that as well. Some of the specials we're going to be running, everybody on the call today, we're going to be offering 10% off any purchase of any smart valve or Jolie showerhead between now and in April 28th. Also, we're running a contest just for getting on the call today. As long as you've put in the correct email address, we're going to basically give you an entry. We're going to run a contest where, based on every $100 that's spent between now and April 28th, is going to get you an entry into for a free gift card, for a $300 gift card. So whether you purchase anything or not, just for being on the call today, you're going to be able to get an entry into that. But obviously, if you do purchase some of our products between now and then, you're going to be able to get additional entries for that to win a $300 gift card. So that's it for the presentation. I do have a few questions here, so I'm just going to unmute Arjun here in a second, if I can get this working here. So bear with me a second. Okay, let's see. There we go. All right, so Arjun, I'm going to start with you.
Sure.
I've got a few questions here in the chat. I just jotted down. One I think you answered, Does the shower head remove any other impurities besides chlorine? I think you mentioned
Heavy metals.
heavy metals
Yeah.
and so on. Okay, so we got that one answered. Let me answer this one quick question. So there was a question about the smart valve financing from Pete. Yes, Pete, the terms of the financing range anywhere from 1 year to 7 years, I believe. So that's something, depending, it can be structured to work within what you're looking for. Let me just see here. Okay, from looks like one of our plumbers, Garrett. Arjun, this is for you. I'm going to paraphrase this a little bit. Garrett's a plumber. It looks like he's saying the boxes that the shower come in are fairly large. Is there something that's more compact that they can store on the truck that it can come in and maybe even without the tool, since the plumber won't need it?
Sure, no, that I understand. I mean, the box is an 8-inch by 8-inch by 8-inch cube.
Okay.
That is how it's currently packaged, and that's how it arrives. So logistically, if we had an order that was large enough where we're doing the shower head itself, that we can discuss, but it's currently not something that we offer.
Okay. Okay.
And the additional context on that is, this is the first call that we're having or meeting with a plumbing audience. The focus has been beauty. So that's why we don't have a solution developed for that just yet.
Okay. Yeah. And Garrett, I can say that, we can work with you on that as well in terms of packaging to make it more, we have some, we can figure it out. Especially, if you're looking to put this on trucks, then yeah, I understand where he's coming from.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll work with you. We'll certainly figure out something. Okay. So okay, again, I'm going to paraphrase this because it's a little long. Thank you, Susan, for the comment. People tend to not change the filters when they're supposed to. So the question basically is, how efficient is the filter at, like, say, 6 months?
Yeah. So what we've noticed just on that first point is at that 3-month mark, the filter tends to get pretty clogged, and there's actually a decrease in pressure. Two things. One is that, and the second is the benefits that a customer sees actually tends to reverse at that 3-month mark. So what we're seeing, because the filter stops working, and this is something that actually works, people are changing their filter earlier than they actually thought they would.
Okay.
At 6 months, to answer that part of the question, it would be a decrease in pressure for sure, and also the effects would not be working.
Okay. Okay. Question for me first. Let me get through your questions actually, because you have a bunch here. This is from Daniel. Have there been any mechanical issues, leaks, and what is the fail rate of the shower head in terms of, I guess, for leaking?
Yeah, we've seen virtually no issues as it relates to leaking. There have certainly been a handful of cases, and that's often the plumber's tape isn't correctly installed, or there's another issue that's happening with their shower system. But I don't know the exact number of fail rate. Of course, there have been some defective units. The biggest thing that we've seen, which this is sub 1%, is the user screws on, they replace the filter and they screw it on too tightly, that it then becomes difficult to unscrew. But that's been, a handful of cases.
And there's something I just thought of when you mentioned that too, is how so basically how easy is it to change the filter? Can the homeowner can do it, I assume, right?
Incredibly easy. You don't have to deinstall the shower head. The shower head stays up there. You just screw off the face of the shower head. It's a 20-second process. The other point I wanted to mention is the imagery here only showed our modern chrome. We launched with 6 different colors. 3 of them call them standard finishes: brushed steel, modern chrome, and then a matte black. The other 3 we've sold out of, and we've sort of kept them as limited editions. We will be launching a brass/gold version and bringing some more color, call it in the mid to late spring.
Great. Okay, I'm just making a note on my notes there for that. That sounds interesting. Yeah, because I think we saw a red one in one of the pictures. Is that so? Do you guys do that often? Like, come out with different colors, or is it something that if it's requested, can it be done on a large scale?
If a hotel group or a large property management or builder would come to us and say, hey, we want to put this across 30 properties and it's going to be a 5,000 unit order in a particular color, sure, we can absolutely do that.
Okay.
We're not doing one-off custom.
Sure. No, that makes sense. Another one here is, I think you put this up as well, but how much of a pressure reduction is there from your filter as compared to other filters?
This is the interesting piece of feedback. When we design this has to be an amazing shower experience on its own, irrespective of it being a filtering shower head. And that means there should not be a reduction in pressure and there needs to be adequate coverage. We've experienced many customers telling us they're seeing better pressure, which I know sounds counterintuitive with the Jolie. And sure, some people are popping out the flow restrictor. I'm curious if there are any questions on that. But we designed this to optimize the pressure coming from your pipes. There are shower heads out there that will do the opposite. And I think that's what we've seen. A lot of customers have shower heads that are just hurting the pressure that exists in their building, but we've seen increased pressure or the maintenance of the same pressure.
And that was mentioned. There was one point in here also was, so what's the flow rate between with and without the flow restrictor? If somebody leaves it in versus not.
We sell, it's one model. We include a 1.8 and a 2.5. 2.5 is federal limit. 1.8 is the strictest. California and a handful of other states. And we have, so the 2.5 is what is installed in the shower head. And then if a customer lives in California, they are told to put in the 1.8. The flow rate without, if they pop the whole thing out, I'm not sure what that is. And I think that would also depend upon their specific pressure and flow coming out of their pipes.
So I'm sure this will come up now that you mentioned that. So I'm sure I guess my question is, how do you, so every instruction says if you live in one of these states that you have to, okay. So it's no matter where. So, my concern is, I just thought of this and sorry guys there's one more question after this, but I just wanted to mention, I don't know if New Jersey is one of those states that requires that to be 1.8, but I just want to make sure that every box has that in there listed because, I don't want, we have clients all over the country and I want to make sure that, and especially guys that are on the call here, I think we have one from California on here now, that no matter who orders that box, it's going to have those points in there about the 1.8. So they're aware.
That's in our install guide. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for monopolizing that, guys. I just thought of that when we were talking here. And I think I have one more question here for me as well. So the question was, how much PSI does the smart valve reduce as well? Because it's externally adjustable, again, you could set this to, what we're trying to accomplish is getting it set to the highest setting possible without disrupting flow to the property. That's the first thing we don't want to do. We don't want your tenants, or we don't want, for homeowners out there or for plumbers, your clients, we don't want pressure issues in the house. So on the smaller version, as I mentioned, it's just a little rod, and I think I can show a quick picture here of one. I think this will be a good picture. Let me just skip back to this for a minute. So on the right there, you see the tool on the right of this picture. So you can put in a ratchet and actually crank up the external. Let me see if I can show you a better picture of the hole in it there. I might have one down here. Okay, on this picture on the left, you see there's a little white, you can't see the hole actually, but there's a white section on the smaller valve there that's installed. And basically it's a hole that you push towards up, you push towards the positive or the negative, and you use this tool here to do so. But if you set that to a minimum setting, you'll probably lose about 2 psi. Plus, obviously, you're putting something on a pipe, so you're going to lose a little bit of pressure from doing that. On the left picture here, these are our flange version, which is for sizes 3-inch and up. And by the way, also the 8-inch version of this, I don't have a picture on here yet today, but it's just come out, is going to be all stainless steel. So it'll look a little different than this one. But on this version of the smart valve, on the picture here on the left, you see there's a little dial there. And what that takes is there's a nut on top, and then there's a little hole for an Allen key. And there's also a little dial that says the different percentages of where you're setting it. On the flange version, you loosen the nut and take an Allen key and turn it to where you want it to go. On the lower setting, it's going to do very little to the pressure because we're talking about a much more gallons per minute on these larger lines. But because, one of the beauties of this product is for the third version here, it gives you a much wider range than ever before. If you turn this to 100%, it's almost going to shut the water off to the building. So what it allows for is, once you install it, we're going to give you a recommended place to start at for the to set it based on the numbers that we know about the building. And what we ask is to have either yourself or the maintenance director of the building every few days just go down and turn it up a little bit. It'll literally take about a minute, and you keep cranking it up to get to the point where, hey, we notice a difference in the pressure in the building. So once you get there, you back it off a little bit to make sure there's no issues, and then you're done. Set it and forget it. So from the plumbers on the call, you would just relay this to the property owner or to the maintenance director. It literally takes a little bit of time just to set it. You want to get it to the custom setting, and that takes trial and error a little bit. There's no way to magically know where to set it and know you're going to get the maximum savings. But once it's set, which might take 2 or 3 trips down to the meter room, maybe a 5-10 minutes total time over the course of a week or 2 tops. Once it's set, they never have to touch it again unless they need to. They can always back it off. We just had a water main break over near one of our properties here, and the pressure dropped to about 20 in the client's building. So I would say that it's a very easy process. It takes a little trial and error to get it set correctly, and so on and so forth. So any other questions on this today? It looks like we have all the questions answered, and we're running up to the hour here. So I wanted to thank everybody for coming on, and let's talk again soon. And feel free to reach out to us. Here's our information again to contact us. Phone number, email address, our website's there, and we will talk to you soon. Hope all is well with everybody, and look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care.